There we go. I do have to go on BRB, right? There we go. One second. Okay, hey, okay, sorry about that. Things keep happening that are beyond my control. Um, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, why are you like this? Why are you doing this to me? Okay, there we go. There. Okay. Wee, wee. Hey, Terrible. How's it going? So, what has been going on? I've been a little bit out of ideas lately for videos. Listen, I know how the internet works. I know that summer is the time where internet people are. You have to be a lot more serious about stuff because it's like the numbers are up quite a bit. So believe me, that is playing into my head. So, and whatever happens, I will be taking it very seriously. Uh, Jaden, hey, welcome back. Power came back on. Yeah, that happens when there's like a bad rainstorm here. Is that the power can go off. So be prepped. There's a chance I'll go off again. So until that happens, we're here. In fact, there's going to be possibly some flooding. Not at this house, but at other houses. A drain of land in my soul. If the weather permits it, I will. Go into my summer. You haven't been here for my summer schedule yet, Jaden. Much more intense. Summer is usually where I expand the most on things, so. So who's the villain for the first two? Oh, did you hear that? Holy heck. Thunder Crusher, okay. Maybe go for a more lighthearted villain. Well, every superhero needs a few things, a few types of villains. A superpowered villain. Do you have like, have your guy faced up against normal criminals yet? Like a mob boss or something? Usually you need one of those. What? No, I have not thought about that at all. Yeah. Where am I at the moment? Yeah, I'm like a couple hundred away from that. That would be nice. Oh, okay. Bye. Have a good day at school. Smiling Friends videos are doing decently, which is good to hear. Because I'd like to review the whole show. No worries, no worries. Did you guys hear that? Holy heck. It's like the gods are fighting! Captain Kraken! Good to see you, buddy. Right? Holy heck. Is that some loud, loud stuff? Oh. Angels bowling, that's a good way. You can see how, like, you know, I think about this all the time. Like how family, how like old like religions and stuff, because the Greeks would say that was like Hephaestus working in his forge. You can see that, right? It's like, wow. Like the sky itself just changes. Yeah. By the way, it's happened once already on me trying to stream today. It might happen again. There's a chance this thing is gonna go. It'll randomly just shut off. I do too. There's gonna be some flooding. Hey, T.O. How's it going, buddy? How's it going? Yeah. How's it going, everybody? So theoretically, I'm aware that I should be working on a different I should be probably editing some stuff, but I just don't feel like doing that today. I'll do it tomorrow. We'll do a nice long editing stream tomorrow, but today let's have fun and just draw OCs. Sure. What makes me think I should be doing art? beginning beginning intermediate expert beginner. I don't know. Better than I was. Not the best in the world. Part of me doing these is to kind of make myself do art. You know. It doesn't help that I'm kind of inconsistent also in my abilities. You know, some days I'm good, some days I'm not so good. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have any delusion about like that. I'm like some next level artist. I'm not. I know like I don't know. People are weird because it's like part of it is like yeah. You should. You should. People get weird partly because it's like you know I say I do this stuff and then they look at my things and go like really, and I'm like yeah, but it's like one, I've definitively gotten better. And two, it's fun and I like doing it. So two, and I can feel myself getting better at it every time I do it. So it's like, if I didn't do it, oh well, thank you. Uh, I I'm pretty sure that's meant as a compliment, so I'm gonna take it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't start till I was like in like 25, I think. Yeah, so I didn't start taking this seriously till I was 25. I, I think it's a I'm yeah no I appreciate the I'm taking this as a compliment, which I believe that is what it was meant as, and I appreciate that. Yes, thank you very much. That is a very nice thing for you to say. Good morning, unknown soul. How's it? How's it going? Yes. Uh, like I don't have any delusions about myself. I do like, in my opinion, like I'm on the right track and I'm doing better and no worries. Like yeah, no. I assume you're. Do you do art, Tio? How's it going, so? Like the thing about it is like if I concern myself with like too much with like say precise technique and things, I would kind of lose my ability to do it. Like I can't get into my head too much with all this stuff, and like when people like give me like advice, I kind of freeze up. So it's this weird thing is where I'm really bold but also nervous at the same time. I don't know if people have had that experience where it's like you can both. Here's the thing: you can both be incredibly scared of everything, yet at the same time, weirdly How are things going for everybody? What are we working on today, Sol? Cam, what are we working on? Charcoal is amazing. There's this really amazing book called, what is it called? I have it here. It's called, it's by a guy named Sean Lee. It's called The Visitor. One second. It's called The Visitor. If you ever get a chance, like, look it up. No, what is it? Did a movie recently. Forgotten. Whatever. Oh, now I'm just. He won an Oscar for best short film. Sean Tan. That is Sean Tan. Yeah. I'm sure I'm missaying it. The Arrival. It's called The Arrival. There it is. Look up The Arrival. Just look up the pictures for it. It's by a guy named Sean Tan. He does it all in charcoal. It's amazing. It's amazing. Look that shit up. You'll be shocked by what you can do with like stuff like charcoal. So Tio, what have you been working on lately? Did you look it up? It's right. They rule like so much. I love his stuff, even though I briefly forgot his name there for a second, which I feel very bad about. Yeah, he has this kind of like amazing like ability to both be realistic and fantastical at the same time. He won an Oscar a few years back. Yeah, he won an Oscar a few years back for a short film called The Lost Thing. I almost forget what it's called. I'm bad with names, if you can't tell. Yeah. The Visitor is so interesting because it's or The Arrival. Damn it! It's The Arrival. It's called The Arrival. It's so interesting because it's about the like. It's a wordless comic. Like there's no words in like it. It kind of puts. Tell me these fun facts, Tio. I want to hear them. I want to hear them all. And Soul, what'd you? So I recently fell down. So Captain, how's the book going? I recently fell down this kind of research hole. About I saw this TikTok and it made me really interested in this subject. About the Powerpuff Girls. Which, by the way, I rewatched the Powerpuff Girls as an adult. That show was really good. That show was great, in fact. And I think, like, as a kid, I was always too. This is bad, but I mean, this is the real thing. Not bad. I think I was too embarrassed as a boy to admit that I really liked that show. But watching it back now, that show was amazing. And one thing that really fascinated me with like all the kind of design elements of it. And so I saw this whole thing about partly where it came from was Mr. Senator. My Little Pony, like the reboot was actually not bad. I think that. Yeah. TikTok is both like a really fun thing for me and the thing that really aggravates me in some ways. Yeah. Yeah. Aggravates me because it's like I'll both have a really good time on it, then I'll be like aggressively like mad at some things I see on there because it's like and both live there simultaneously, and it frustrates me quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah. No, like as a kid though, I was too afraid to admit that I liked the show, even though I watched almost every episode of it. But as an adult, going back and watching it, I can admit that now, that I liked it. Kraken, that's exactly what it is. Down to a T. So it's exactly what. Wait, Kraken. What are you talking about? I don't know any Twitter. I only know this X, this hit platform of X. Because like you learn. Because occasionally you'll learn like really cool things like. I'm following one guy on there who's like this expert historian on like East Germany. Like he's an actual like professor, and his like particular field of subject is East Germany, So he knows tons of stuff about like East Germany and like East German politics, and it's really fast. He's a really fascinating guy to listen to because it's like I had no idea what I have no idea how East Germany works, but I'm getting a good sense of it now. You're exting, or you're an exticle. Instead of tweeting, you're exticing, or instead of tweets, they're exticles. So if you guys don't know, I make like short videos usually. I'm trying to make more long form ones. Yeah. How long do you think Twitter X realistically? I mean, I'll point this out, not to like forgive Elon or anything, but Twitter was a horrifying platform long before he took over. He just made it. He just took all the stuff that was underneath it and put it to the forefront. Yeah. Hicks my Hicks. I need. Thanks, fam. Yeah, exactly. Listen, we need to or an exter or an extra or an X thread. I love how like news people still call Twitter like X, formerly Twitter, like just out of like rebellion. They're like X, formerly Twitter. Yeah. Because yeah. Well, yeah, that's because he wasn't smart and didn't understand how contract negotiations work. Um. Anyways. Uh. uh you know, the thing is, I quit Twitter, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with this place. Literally the day before it was announced that Elon took over. So I never saw like any of the changes. Dang it. So I don't really have any. I occasionally look into it. Just like sometimes people will say, well, you have to see this on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I guess I will. I mean, we're all using Threads now, right, guys? We're all using Threads. Instagram's answer to Twitter, Threads. True story. True story. True story. I was like, you know, I decided to give in. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just sign up for Threads. Like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sign up for Threads. This seems to be where everybody's going. I should probably get in on it. First thread I see on Threads is a guy complaining how the algorithm just shows him nothing but rage bait. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, literally, the first thing I saw on Threads is like, please stop showing me all this stuff that makes me so angry. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need it. Yeah. It probably wasn't. Well, to me, Twitter became not worth it when it was when they don't let you link off site. Listen, social media networks. You need to let me link off freaking site. It drives me up a wall that like they're starting to like restrict that links to other sites. As you should. Like, I'm trying to use a lot of this stuff to like promote things that I'm doing. Teal, I love that. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. I found it like it always got to me. Like the real answer why I left is because I realized I was dreading the release of every movie. Like there was movies I was so excited to release, and then I was like, oh, God, I'm not looking forward to the discussions that people are going to have about these movies. And I realized like watching new movies used to be like one of my favorite things in the world to do, and Twitter is kind of like stealing my joy. Yeah, but that's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's my like personal. I say use these like social media things until they become like too annoying to use. Like the second you think to yourself, "Oh, this is never going to get better," that's the moment it's not ever going to get better. Because you can do a lot to contain like real obnoxious things. You can do a lot to contain the real obnoxious side of social media, but it always seeps back in. And the second you go to yourself, no, this is it. I can't. Yeah. To me, what I realized is like no matter what, at least I don't know. To me, like even just very basic discussions would turn into like these like minefields, and I'm just like I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the second you think to yourself, I can't keep doing. The second you think to yourself, like, just remember, it never. It always tries to slip through. And to me, a little bit, something you do for fun should not. You should not have to work so hard to engineer it to be fun. It should be just kind of effortless. Like to me, Twitch is effortless fun. Like I love coming on here. I love doing Twitch. I have fun doing it. I don't really need to like worry about it. That's the same way mostly like with like YouTube and things. It's a very useful feature. But I will say this: join, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Do stuff on YouTube. Make small little videos on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You get so much more engagement with your stuff. Like, dudes, everybody. Do you know a video of mine on Instagram just got 1 million views? I never got that engagement on Twitter. Like, okay. Here's what I'm saying. I know people complain about them. Make shorts. Make shorts. Like, make shorts. Make shorts. Like, make shorts and TikToks, like, under a minute. I'm pretty sure everybody here has something they could talk about for at least 1 minute at a time, right? Like, you have subjects you're interested in that you could talk about for at least a minute, right? Yeah, right. Isn't that freaking insane? Yeah, I've never got that big of a response for anything I've ever done. Let's see. Let's see, where is it at exactly? 1.2 million. Fuck. Exactly. I made a video making fun of the English just a little bit. I made a video making fun of the English, and I've gotten a lot of responses from the Irish and the French, Tio. From the Irish and the French have responded quite positively to me. So, like, my opinion would be, like, it literally took me, like, it literally took me less than, like, 30 seconds to make that video. Loosely edit it and then post it. Posted in 3 different places. Instagram, it was a huge hit. I've gotten over 1 million followers from that. Not 1 million followers. No, what am I talking about? 1 million hits. Where am I at in follows? 1 second. Where's my profile? I'm at 295. I only started posting there like a few months ago. I was at like 180 a few days ago, before all this stuff started. Yeah, it was so weird to see it happen. Like, it did well, and I was like, okay, this did well. Like, I've had videos do decent before, and it just kind of, I've had, like, videos do, like, 20,000 views or something. That's, like, the highest I've ever gotten before. Okay. Crack it. I'm gonna get. Let me show you what to do. Forgot that was there. Okay. So this is currently attached to TikTok at the moment, so I don't know, here in the US we might have trouble with it. But download it now. Oh, I tripped over something. I forgot it was there, and I forgot something was there and I tripped over it. So I'm using CapCut, and CapCut's really nice. So CapCut is really nice because you can shoot and edit all in the same program. So you just hit camera. You hit camera. There's 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 15 seconds. 3 minutes, 60 seconds, and 30 seconds. And you can do this. You shoot, take a break, move to somewhere else, shoot, take a break, move to somewhere else. It pretty much does almost everything in camera for you. So all you gotta do is just think of stuff to say for a minute. I would suggest keeping it under a minute. That way you can post it on all 3 platforms. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is associated, and it's free. It's free. There's a there's a subscription you can get for some extra stuff, but it's free. So yeah, that's the real let's be honest. Twitter is kind of a dying platform, and writers aren't getting multi-million book deals from it anymore. So we move on to the internet age. We're moving. It's all about it's all about the age of video now. Short. It's all about short form videos. See, just yesterday, I made a video about yeah. Well, yeah. See, just yesterday, I know it's flipped around, but it's I don't know if you can see it, but this video I made got 10,000 views on YouTube, and got me 10 new subscribers. Yeah, and the way you promote that now is with short form videos and stuff. That's where publishers that's what publishers are looking for nowadays, or your TikTok and Instagram bullshit. Oh, thanks, Tio. I always appreciate when people do that. I especially yeah, no man, people are getting book deals off of the TikToks that they make. And or Instagram Reels. But when I still see writers doing Twitter stuff, I'm like, come on. I've told so many writers that they need to stop putting time into that one. Use your followers to get as many people over to your new stuff, and then just stop worrying about that one. That's my opinion, anyways. So, okay. I had an idea for a webcomic last night, or a few nights ago. I drew this character. I drew this character a few days ago. This book is totally out of clean pages, so I think she turned out kind of cute, and so I'm trying to I've had this idea in my head for a long time of I have a fascination with retro future stuff. She's not bad, right? She's not bad. If you can't tell, she's an alien. Her eyes are a little off, but so this was just a sketch. But if you can't tell, she's an alien. She has little dealy boppers. So I've been kind of fascinated by retro future things, the ray gun aesthetic and stuff. So I kind of wanted to try and So why I brought up like Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that is like I learned about like the designer and stuff that was inspired like kind of inspired like Powerpuff Girls and also like Star Trek and stuff, and kind of his like the whole ethos behind that. It wasn't just him. There's a lot of like inspiration. So it's so it was like kind of like outfits like this. It's like it's very much like the mod scene. Anyways, I'm like, and I've always had like a fascination with sort of that aesthetic and stuff. So, you guys know what retrofuture is? Retrofuture is, or is oh, come on, I don't want to hear myself. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing. By the way, random digression here. Well, not random, partly because I wanted to get some stuff to research it, but random digression here. Old newspaper comics compilations are crazy expensive, and I don't know why. Like they're like $200. Like I was trying to acquire like. Do you guys know who Dick Tracy? Do you guys know what Dick Tracy is? First of all, do you know who Dick Tracy is? Like, it's so complicated. Not Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy's not complicated, but what? Okay, so Dick Tracy was is a newspaper comic, and it's kind of a famous like real famous one. It's probably the most famous one, and it's like a rough. And Dick Tracy is like a private investigator, or, and it can get ridiculously violent. It's quite funny at times how weird it can get. Anyways, there's this whole part where Dick Tracy went to the moon. I know that sounds like what? Like, anyways, I love those comics. They were considered quite bad at the time, but I find them so fascinating. Anyways, one thing I found funny is all the aliens had those like little dealy boppers, and like that was always like a cheap. In science fiction films, they always would just give like aliens when they didn't have any ideas how to design them. They would just give them those little dealy boppers. Like my favorite thing in Star Trek. One of my favorite things in Star Trek is like when they're like exactly. It's so funny. Oh my god! By the way, that Leprechaun movie is really bad. I watched Leprechaun. I've seen Leprechaun in Space. It is quite bad. Like I thought that would be funny bad, but that was like kind of unwatchable, honestly. Good for him. It's Tony Todd, right? Tony Todd. Tony Todd is the I believe is the yeah. Good for him. Oh, Candyman has like class, man. Candyman has class. Doesn't need that garbage. Do you know that the original Candyman score was done by Philip Glass? Like one of the greatest living classical living composers did the score for that movie. Like, come on, like. I know there was also supposed to be a Michael Myers versus Hellraiser movie at some point they were going to do. I mean, I believe Tony Todd was in a whole bunch of Final Destination movies, which were not exactly, the greatest films, but yeah. Yeah. Philip Glass is maybe the most important composer of the modern day because he's not just like a film composer. Not oh, that sounds bad. I love film soundtracks. I listen to them all the time. But he does like legit like compose. Yeah, composing for like he's like he does operas like Philip Glass. Like he's like a famous opera composer, and it's like how is that even possible to be that in the modern day? But somehow he is. Yeah. Yeah. He's great, by the way. If you ever want to listen to the just like amazing, like out of the world music. He did an opera called Einstein on the Beach, which is really really famous. That's considered by like modern day like opera fans to be like one of maybe the most important opera of like the 20th century. Einstein on the Beach. Anyway, so I believe he's won the Pulitzer if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, um, so yeah, yeah. It's like the Truman Show is like, hey, man, the Truman Show is so good. I was thinking about that recently. How good of a movie that is. Who's the Australian director that did it? I don't think that director, The Truman Show. Peter Weir. Oh, most definitely. Peter Weir, by the way, the director of that, is such a good director, and I don't think he gets enough credit for like directing. Like he's directed like a lot of really good movies, like Picnic at Hanging Rock, Master and Commander, Far Side of the Earth is another one he did. Um, there's some really good like Australian ones that he did, like The Last Wave is a really amazing movie. I mean, Picnic at Hanging Rock is also an Australian one. I just I don't people don't talk about him like in the same levels they talk about like say like yes, Dead Poets Society is another one he did. Like it's so weird because I think he's such a good director, and I feel like people should talk about him in the same like way they do with like the Coen Brothers or like Quentin Tarantino, because he's such a good director who does so many unique movies, and it's like it's wild. I don't that he's never really brought up. Picnic at Hanging Rock is such a good like movie. It's wild how good of a movie that is. Oh, the Cars at Eight. I should see that one. That's supposed to be. That's kind of like Australian filmmaking is weird because one of the things you'll find out is they're quite obsessed with cars. Yeah, that's like a proto. I don't know the timeline, but that's I forget which is which, but that's like a proto Mad Max movie, in a lot of ways. Right? Doesn't that sound like just cool? I don't know. Yeah. Let's see what else. Let's see. Oh, he did Witness. That's such a good movie. That's that might be one of Harrison Ford's best performances. You should Witness, Dead Poets. That's a good one. Let's see. The Last Wave is a really underrated movie. I saw that years ago. I really like that. The Mosquito. Oh, that yeah. He did a lot of good work with Harrison Ford. That's another good one. The Truman Show, The Way Back, and then he just has it. Yeah, yeah. He does. The thing about him is he also doesn't direct that many movies. Like he takes a lot of time in between the movies he directs. Um, George Miller. By the way, yes, I'm very excited that we are getting a new George Miller. A new George Miller movie coming out soon. And it's another Mad Max. Obviously, I'm excited for that. Now I'm just tempted to rewatch Fury Road. Now I'm just tempted to rewatch Fury Road again. That was such a that's. You have no idea how obsessed I was with that movie for a while. You know, there was a pitch for a Waterworld sequel at some point, or like TV show at some point. They were going to make a Waterworld TV show at some point down the line, at some point, and that just never got off, and I don't know why. I have an idea. What do you think of Waterworld? Waterworld, I don't know. I think Waterworld is something that should work better than it does. I don't know. I mean, to me, the thing with Waterworld that's funny is that Waterworld is, I don't know, it's so weird to think of. I never saw Mortal Engines. What is I I was excited for that, and then I was like, and then I read it was not act. I thought initially that Peter Jackson was directing it. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. This seems like a movie. This seems like a cool thing, and then it's like, oh no, it's just him producing it, which is Peter Jackson is, in my opinion, is kind of mixed as a producer. Was it good? Was was it good? Like, I do love how like books like that are always like, what if movie thing but 20 times bigger? Yeah. Maybe I'll give it a chance. I do like me some steamer punkers. My favorite is steampunk. I feel like we've never got like a legitimately great steampunk movie. What do you think is like the best steampunk movie? I don't know. Truth be told, we've probably never officially got a great steampunk any like book. Like I feel like there's a lot of excitement for steampunk, but like there's no true. I don't know. What like there's no like thing that's really made steampunk into like a master. Like okay, like maybe the Difference Engine. I think is probably like the Difference Engine is probably still, as like from a literary perspective, the best steampunk book. But that's like one of the first ones, so it's like, what are we doing here? Is that a controversial opinion? That might be a very controversial opinion. I haven't read every single steampunk book in the world, so I can't say for certain if one has been a classic. Do people know the Difference Engine? Different. It's the Difference Engine, right? Difference Engine is written by William Gibson, and it's considered by many modern scholars to be like the real first steampunk thing. Um, uh, oh wait, I got my phone right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Position. Okay. Is like. Wait. Yeah. Trying not hard to make this character. This is it. Yes, I have. I saw the first episode. I haven't got around to the rest, but I like what I saw. What about you? Arm is too big. Arm is too big. Yeah, I had the suspicion it was going to be good. Like, I was like, maybe this will suck, and then it's like, no. Well, the thing I knew about the creator, it's Jonathan Nolan, right? AKA Christopher Nolan's brother and co-writer of The Dark Knight and Westworld. But one thing I knew about him is he's very much a legitimate like video game fan. He's very obsessed with video games. And he's gone on several interviews talking about how much video games he's played. So I was like, I suspect he might take this seriously. And then yeah. Well, Fallout, yeah, that's partly what I was thinking. Fallout, in retrospect, is a really good video game franchise to pick as an adaptation. Because, like, with Fallout, you don't really need to, like, adhere to, like, specific characters or something. Because, like, Fallout is a setting and a shared lore, but, like, every game is always a different protagonist. So you don't have to do, like, the same. As long as you keep the lore, like, consistent, you can do your own story, which I think is probably a better approach to video games, like, adaptations than, like, say, yeah, then like, say, like, is setting up creators more to succeed when you do stuff like that. So it's like you can write your own story, but it helps that, like, the creators are actual, like, fans. Like, I saw an interview with the girl, and I forget her name, and she was talking about, like, they said, yeah, you don't have to play the video games if you don't want to, and she said, no, I'm gonna. She played a lot of them to get a sense for what they're doing. And I thought that was, like, yeah, she's good. I thought that was really good. Or the, like one of my pet peeves from, like, adaptations lately, or at least, is, like, okay, so, like, part of the problem, I think, with, like, modern day, like, adaptations, like, I think at least with like, a lot of people, one, I don't think, like, the system is totally fair to, like, I don't think the system is totally fair to creatives, because it's like the thing that I've been told I've heard from people is that, like, well, his casting, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's gonna be Walton. I love Walton Goggins so much. Holy heck! Did you ever watch? He's been, like, amazing in almost everything he's ever done. Like, Justified, he was so good in.
What's the Righteous Gemstones? If you've ever seen the Righteous Gemstones, he's hilarious in that. And I was like, the second I heard they cast him, I'm like, ooh, they want this show to actually be good. Because Goggins fits in perfectly with like uh Goggins fits in perfectly kind of with like Fallout, what they're doing with Fallout. Oh, he's so good in that. Damn. Goggins is just one of those guys who, like, any role he's in, one, the second he gets cast in something that's like, ooh, you're excited for that all of a sudden. That means it's going to be a good. That means it's going to be good. Uh, Two. Yeah. Oh, he's so good. I love Goggins so much. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot he was. Yeah. Oh, right. He was in Hate. I forgot he was in Hateful Eight. Yeah, he was so good in that too. I saw Hateful Eight. 300 uh millimeter projection, all that stuff. That ruled. You know, some people really didn't like that movie, The Hateful Eight. I don't know. It's like it's too talky. It's too talky. I just don't want to hear people talking. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you going to a Quentin Tarantino movie if you don't want to hear the dialogue? What are you doing? Do you not understand what Tarantino's whole deal is? I can't believe. I can't believe that this Tarantino movie has a lot of dialogue in it. I just didn't think he'd do that. Like, there is a lot of justified criticism of Tarantino, but come on. Yeah. What are you talking about? The advancements of it. Don't you want to see movies being put on the blockchain? Kraken, don't you want to see movies being put on the blockchain? That's what we all want to see, right? Kevin Smith's newest movie is totally NFT exclusive, and I think we all were looking forward to that. Have you seen some of the videos where like they do a whole bit where it's like well, Kevin Smith's new movie is totally on the blockchain, and I think we were all looking forward to Kevin Smith doing that. No.
Oh, look up change to color. There's some interesting ones that they do. Where it's like, Doug? Doug from Queen of Kings? I have brought the appropriate NFTs, Doug. Doug, please allow me into your... Please allow me into your special home for NFTs, Doug. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. One thing you shouldn't do with concept art is ink it, because then you might want to change it later. But I'm gonna ink it anyways, because I want to show up a little bit better on screen. Okay. What do we think of my little alien guy? Praise only. No. Just a very rough concept. Not a fan of how I inked him, but that's the decision I made, and I'm gonna have to live with it. So, thank you. So he's supposed to be kind of like an '80s. Like I've written a few stories. I'm kind of drawing out just some old sci-fi ideas I had. I've written a few stories with him before. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like He's supposed to be like kind of a finance bro, like stockbroker dude from like the '80s.
but the only difference is he's like one of those little gray aliens. So he's like a tech finance bro, but he's a gray alien. I hope that comes across. Should not have inked it. It's usually a bad idea to ink like concept art, you know. Kind of a funny idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I was trying to differentiate him from. Yeah, I was trying to differentiate him from Roger a little bit. He's not. That was my main worry, that he'd come off looking like Roger. I love American Dad, by the way. It's one of my favorite shows. I watched so much of it, and as a millennial, I brat. I'm saying that to be like, oh, I'm just so lazy, but I'm secretly kind of bragging that I just watch so much TV. Aren't I fun? Yeah. I do too. Adult, yes. Mature, well, I think we can debate about that. How mature it is, but I like, yes, it's. Okay. Ooh, I really have to go to the bathroom. Be back. It is better. It is better than Rick and Morty.
Sorry about that. Had to quick run to the restroom. Oh, it is definitely better than Family Guy. Is it better than Rick and Morty? That I don't know. Maybe. I think it's funnier than Rick and Morty. I'd much rather watch American Dad than Rick and Morty. Yeah, it's starting to get better. Oh. Just had to quick. It comes up on you suddenly. That video, by the way, that I was talking about, is at 1.2 million now. So that means it's 1,200,000 views. Just saying. There's a chance it could hit 2. The entire nation of the nations of England, Ireland, and France are all debating it. Seemingly. Yeah. Well, I kind of made fun of England just a little bit in that video. So we'll see. It's funny because I stitched somebody originally from TikTok, and like the original video that I stitched had like 30 views, and I've had like 1 million views. I feel kind of bad for the person I stitched because I'm like, oh, I kind of. I'm not saying I did your. Yeah. Like, I'll show you the video. Oh, like, the video I did. It legitimately is nothing special. Literally all I did. Took me like a minute. Thanks. Took me like a minute, and it's like the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. The funny thing is, I kind of thought it was sort of a hokey joke a little bit, but I guess people found it funny. Who doesn't love orcs? Oh, I've got an orc-related project coming out at some point. And I probably should get back. I should probably focus on editing at some point. If people are curious. It's about a professional wrestling orc. It's about an orc that becomes a professional wrestler. It's taking me a while to edit. I have it written, I just need to edit it. It's a lot of editing. It is about 12,000 words, so. Hey, Tosh. Pretty much. That's kind of my pitch for the book. No. I mean, yeah, I could make her a luchador. Just. No, she's more of a. No, she's more of like a power wrestler. I forget what the exact term of that is, but. Luchadors tend to be smaller guys. I do have a luchador character. I am playing a luchador character, but it's just the first thing I wrote is just kind of her introduction to the whole wrestling thing. And because the next thing I want to write is her at a training to do it at a school. I mean, I'm aware that there are like big guys who can do like luchador moves, like Bam Bam Bigelow could do a lot of those like big luchador moves. So like, heck, even the Undertaker was partly why he was so known is because he could do some of that stuff. It's hard. It's rare for big guys to be able to do big things like that. I love luchadors, by the way. Luchador stuff. Luchador is amazing. Are you a wrestling fan, Captain Kraken? It's good right now. Wrestling's real hot right now. Hey, Robin? Cerulean? Is this, Hi. Thank you for liking the video. Captain. It's not sports, it's sports entertainment. You are aware that pro wrestling is fixed, right? It's not like actually it's more it's a TV show more than an act like a sporting event. It is. I mean, it's an athletic display, but it's not a competitive athletic display. Yeah. We got there's a real big storyline going on right now that's been real exciting. AEW is doing stuff I haven't watched. So, hey Robin, how's it going? I haven't watched AEW in a bit, but I should probably get back into it. I know there's some storylines going on there that's getting exciting again. Big story is that Cody Rhodes is now the world champion, or the undisputed champion. They changed what the championship, what the championships mean. Yeah, that's pretty depressing. Yeah, that's... The thing with McMahon is...
we've known for a while that McMahon is not a nice person. Like, he's a real, like, scummy dude. And we seem to, people kept forgetting what a kind of scummy dude he was until, like, the official reports finally came out. It's so weird to think, like, he's, like, just gone from the company now, because he kind of, people kind of thought he'd just die at his desk one day. I'm glad he's gone. Real shitty dude. I like the new team in charge now. Oh boy, I have to go to the bathroom again. Okay, be right back.
Back. Made it just in time. Yeah, so Vince McMahon, bad dude, real bad dude. Maybe one of the worst dudes. Also throwing Brock Lesnar. Fuck you, Lesnar. I don't give a shit that you could kill me in an instant. You seem like a bad dude too. But wrestling isn't just WWE. There's a lot of other people who do it. Like there's a really good there's New Japan Wrestling. There's New Japan Wrestling, which is really good. There's AEW, which can either be quite aggravating at times and quite good at other times. TNA, which seems to be, anyways. But this year's storyline was really good, and it paid off a lot of story. There paid off a lot. So the champion right now is a guy named Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes has a whole huge history. See, Cody Rhodes' dad is a guy named Dusty Rhodes. Now, Dusty Rhodes is one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. But Dusty Rhodes was Dusty Rhodes was more famous in the like the 70s and 80s. Like he was famous his whole life, but his real active period was the 70s and 80s. So the story of Dusty Rhodes was this. Dusty Rhodes is the champion of what's called the NWA. Now, the NWA was the major organization in charge of professional wrestling before the WWE came apart. And now the NWA wasn't one federation. It was made up of several major ones throughout the country. And the owners would get together every year and vote on who the champion would be. And for the long time, it was a guy named Dusty Rhodes, a.k.a. Cody's father. So when the WWE started mass expanding under Vince McMahon, now Vince McMahon's father was Vince Sr. was part of the NWA. Anyways, essentially Dusty lost a lot. Dusty essentially lost a lot, and he swore that he would regain his like honor and stuff, essentially, by becoming the WWE champion. Now, here's the trick: Dusty never did it. Dusty never managed. He regained his status, but Dusty never managed to pull off becoming champion of WWE to fully reclaim his status. So as he was dying, Captain, this is like real. Cody swore to him that he would one day become champion. He would become WWE champion. That was like Cody's deathbed promise that he would become the champion of WWE. So so it means that Cody has gone through like years of attempting to pull this off. And the story goes like one of the last. While this is happening, So the champion at the time was a guy named Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns
is many things. He's the tribal chief, the head of the table. This is what he looks like. He also happens to be Cody Rhodes's. He also happens to be the cousin of The Rock. Okay. How to explain this? Okay, so The Rock is a member of. It's called a few different things. The Rock is a member of I'm not great with Samoan. It's Bloodline, the Dynasty, it's the Anoiha Dynasty, I believe is. Forgive me, any Samoans out there. Forgive me for mispronouncing. Anoihi Dynasty. Now, the dynasty is. This is maybe one of the most important families in all of professional wrestling. And it goes back, I forget how far. Yeah, it goes back to 1914. It goes back to 1914. And from 1914 on, the bloodline or the family has had a member of its family in every major professional wrestling organization in some regard. So, this is 5 or 6 generations going back, and The Rock is part of this family. He's related to the family through his mom. His mom was is part of the family. So that's why they're a big deal for that reason. So the last person that Dusty Rhodes faced, one of the last people that Dusty Rhodes really faced to potentially claim the championship, was a guy named Skia Onoi. Now, again, forgive me, Samoans. I'm so sorry. He was part of the tag team, the Wild Samoans. Now, which yeah. Now, guess whose father that is? That's right. That was Roman Reigns, the current. That was Roman Reigns, the man that the son of the man Dusty lost. His one of his final shots to regain the championship too. He is the current champion of WWE, and he's the one that Cody has to bring down if he wants to finish his story. So, who is Roman Reigns, you may ask? Oh boy, there's a lot going on with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the bloodline. For about 5 or 6 years. Okay. Roman Reigns was a member of a group called The Shield. Now, wrestling has factions, and Roman was part of a group called The Shield. And The Shield consisted of 3 people, but for what's important, knowing the whole history behind this. One of them was a guy named Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins is also a champion, and Seth Rollins betrayed Roman in his attempt to claim the championship for himself by bashing him with a chair when Roman wasn't looking. Okay, that's important to remember. So, the story goes then that Roman became Vince's guy. Vince had selected Roman to be the next champion. Yes. Captain, this goes back 50 years. This is a thing that goes... This thing goes back 50 years, this whole storyline. It can... Theoretically, you can say it goes back almost 100 years. The weird lore that goes into this. Because you have to understand now who Roman Reigns is as a person. Roman Reigns is The Rock's cousin. I forget exactly, but he is the cousin of The Rock, another member of the dynasty, and he was Vince's chosen guy. Vince selected him as the next like big champion, the face of the company, and that never worked. So it's important to remember a very basic concept in wrestling. There's two archetypes. There's the face and the heel. The face is the good guy that everybody is supposed to cheer. The heel is the bad guy everybody is supposed to boo. And what people desperately wanted, and what Vince decided, was that Roman is going to be this hero, this good guy that everybody's going to love. And he's like the new hero of this. Nobody bought that. Everybody refused to go like, no, we're not doing it. Roman will not be the hero. We are not letting Roman do this. We're going to boo him every chance we get. The reason for that is complicated. One, Roman was not a particularly confident guy on the mic for a long time. He got a lot better. But he was very weak on the mic. And two, so Vince has ideas, and the fan base has other ideas, and the fan base wanted a guy named Daniel Bryanson to be the champion, the star, and it was an absolute refusal on Vince's part to ever make Daniel Bryan the hero of the story, like the face of the company, even though that's what everybody wanted was for him. And the reason is complex, and for that, and Vince has this thing. Like, okay, so like the thing about Vince McMahon is obsessed with huge dudes. Like, he wants huge, jacked guys always in charge as the champion, and he doesn't like smaller guys to be in charge. Anyways, so the story goes with Roman is that for this whole push he's gone through, everybody's booing him. Nobody wants him to be champion, and he keeps trying so hard to be the face of the company, the hero, and eventually he betrays. Eventually he decides he says, "Screw it! I'm going to be the full bad guy, and I'm going to bring in my cousins to back me up," and that forms the bloodline. So we've got this thing now where we've got we've got this guy and partly what the bloodline will do is they'll run into matches that Roman might lose and attack their opponents so that Roman can get the victory. So now what we've got is the situation where Cody desperately is trying as hard as he can to eventually become the hero, whereas Roman, who has been spat up and chewed out and has been betrayed constantly by everybody he thought was close to, and people have rejected his championship, his bid to become the champion is now okay. So that's WrestleMania. So here's what happens. The story. So that's all being set up for WrestleMania. That's the big event of the night. Then the big event for WrestleMania is the final, in sports terms it's the Super Bowl. In actual terms it's the season finale, where all the storylines of the year get resolved finally. So WrestleMania is coming up, and this has been the storyline for the whole time. Is Cody is slowly climbing his way up the ladder to finally become champion and finish the story. Whereas Roman has betrayed everything that mattered to him to brutally hold on to a spot and to finally be acknowledged as the leader. Okay. So then The Rock comes in. And the storyline is all set up for The Rock with Cody and Roman. And then The Rock decides to come in and say, partly because of the writer's strike, The Rock had free time, so he decides he's going to come in and fight Roman in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, to main event WrestleMania is a huge deal. It means essentially you are this. You are at the top of the top. You are the most important wrestler pretty much in the world. And that was supposed to be Cody's night, and that didn't happen, and suddenly everybody is massively upset. This trends on X for days, like, give Cody the chance. And so the decision is changed to it's going to be a tag team match with The Rock and Roman on one side, and Cody and Seth Rollins on the other side. Yes, the same Seth Rollins who years ago betrayed Roman in the first place. Anyways, that's the setup. That was the setup to this one match. You can see why it was, like, such a big deal, right? See how I had to get through at least... I didn't even get into the fact that Cody founded now... a part of the story is that Cody founded the now rival... the most powerful rival to WWE as part of it. Because it's just too complicated to explain that whole deal, that Cody is one of the co-founders of AEW, who is now the competitor, who is the only... who is one of the major competitors to WWE. Yeah. See, it's fun when you know, like, all the history of, because what... Yes, 5 years later. It's fun when you know all the history of it, you know, like, you really understand, like how deep this whole rabbit hole goes. Because once you know all that history, suddenly a lot of, like, these... Yeah. Oh, it gets deeper, Captain. It gets a lot deeper. Because Seth Rollins, his whole deal is really complicated, too. Because Seth Rollins Seth Rollins has a whole history, and his family, and the fact that he's also married to the... One of the things about Seth Rollins is he's married to the women's champion, to the former women's champion. So, like, there's the whole complicated thing, and, like, her... and then you go into, like, and then if you can do that, you can bring out the fact that her big opponent is... somebody named Charlotte Flair, and to understand who Charlotte Flair is, you have to understand who Ric Flair is, and then to kind of understand who Ric Flair has this whole anyways, it just kind of goes on and on and on. So it's a little bit incomprehensible once you understand, like, the full history of it. Like, it's a whole history. Like, you can see why. I think this material would make, like, good fantasy. Good baselines for, like, fantasy stories. Sure. So... Yeah. So everybody has, like, so good. Yeah, right? It's complicated. That was one match. To understand the full implication, you have to understand one match. Also, like, and then there's the thing of, like, Roman Reigns' manager is also a really important person. He's a guy named Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman is this, like... The whole history with Paul Heyman you have to understand. I think you're thinking of Finn Balor. Finn Balor. I think it's Finn Balor, right? The demon? Yes. This character? Yeah, that's Finn Balor. Right. Okay. Would you believe Finn Balor is also connected to all of this stuff? Oh, right, the Bullet Club. I forgot about the Bullet Club. What? See, because this is funny, because you have to understand what the Bullet Club is now. Okay. I can't even get into the Bullet Club is a thing from Japanese wrestling. And it has kind of its own mythology to it. So, Japan. So, Finn Balor is the co founder of the Bullet Club. And one of the ways initially. Okay, okay. Japan, there's a big wrestling. Professional wrestling is pretty big in the U.S., huge in Canada, massive in Japan. You must understand how important how big of a deal pro wrestling is in Japan. And the thing with like Japanese wrestling is a lot of American wrestlers actually go over to Japan to wrestle. The pay is really good. The pay is good, and you don't have to work it, and they don't make you work as many hours as they do in wrestling in Japan. Right now, the big storyline. I don't know. I don't follow Japanese wrestling as closely as I should. I probably should follow it more. The big storyline for a few years was there's a faction called the Bullet Club, aka it's called a few things. It's the Bullet Club. It was at one point called the Guerrillas of Destiny, and Cody Rhodes is attached to it because he was a member of the Bullet Club, and Finn Balor is the co-founder of the Bullet Club, and he is and it's basically a group of foreign heels that came into Japan, Japanese wrestling, and declared their attempt to they would conquer it. Anyways, there's a lot going on there. It gets complicated because I believe I believe Haku's sons were co-founders of it, and so was a few others. Yeah, Tamatoga. Yeah, the Guerrillas of Destiny were part of it. The Guerrillas of Destiny are related to, they're Haku's kids, right? Yeah, they are. They're Haku's adopted sons. Which is a whole
fucking Ming or boy. So they're associated. They're associated with the dynasty, although they're not. It's more complicated. There's a whole like cultural thing about like in Samoa how culturally like the dynasty. There's a fairly specific like cultural thing that the Samoans do. Where okay, so the way it was explained to me, and I might get this wrong, and if there are Samoan people, please explain this to me. But the way I understood it is. Samoans, if you're Samoan, you can have. There's essentially a ceremony where it's like a marriage ceremony, but for friends. Where it's like you can add, if you have a particularly deep friendship with somebody, you can consider them a member of your family, like they're considered a member of your family. That's how how I understood it. I might be wrong, but that's kind of how I understood it. Anyways, so that's an important like caveat with that's an important thing with the dynasty is that it's made up of 3 close friends who made themselves part of each other's families, or it's like 2. Anyways, yeah, it's 2 people. Yes. Okay. Anyways, so Haku is a member. Somewhat is at times part of the dynasty. Is considered part of the dynasty. Anyways, so Haku is Tonga. Hey Crow, how's it going? It's time. Is oh boy, how do you explain Haku or Ming or King Haku? Okay. There are legends. There are legends in the world. There are people of such great and immense power that the world fears them. Haku, Tonga Fahita, sorry, is considered one of the most terrifying people on the face of the earth. He's kind of like if Chuck Norris was real. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So stories with Haku. Haku once bit a man's nose off in the middle of a fight. Haku. I'm sorry. Is it about the camera? Haku once. Haku was once they once arrested Haku and put him in Crepe. I'm sorry to hear that, Crow. So the story so there's a bunch of stories, and it's all a little bit hard to dissertain. Okay, so there's one event where it said that so Haku, there was a fight that broke out. A lot of fights. There's always a lot of fights. The story always starts with a fight breaking out in a bar, and the police came, arrested him. The police came and sprayed pepper spray in his face, and he just shook it off. Like, apparently they couldn't hold him down after, no, it was tear gas. They threw tear gas, and he just, walked off. There's another instance where he just broke apart his handcuffs. One instance where
So, like, the thing with Tonga is that, the thing with Haku is, like, the story usually starts the same way. He's at a bar, and so he's... Listen, it's Pacific, it's Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so I feel I'm doing appropriate by talking about this, because he's Tongan. Like, the people would come up to him, be really racist, and then he would get into a huge fight with them. And usually it would end with the people... it would always end with the person getting into a fight being irreparably damaged in some way, including the fact that he beat back like 3 linebackers. It's okay. It's... Okay. A fight once broke out in a bar, and Haku took his 2 fingers in his right hand, his index finger and his trigger finger, reached into the guy's mouth, and he broke off the guy's bottom teeth. Like he literally did this. He literally like reached into the guy's mouth and pulled it out like that. He once fought off 8 police officers after they shot him with mace. He closed his eyes and sucked it in. He opened his mouth, took a deep breath. There's one instance where a large cowboy was arguing with him, and he pushed the cowboy through 2 different sets of doors using only one hand. Yeah. Well, you know, the stories... So, the stories usually start the same way, is that, like, is some racist guy will come up to him, because he's a huge guy, and some racist guy will come up to him yelling slurs, and he... Welcome back! Yelling slurs, and he'll try and calm down the situation, first of all. It usually goes like, calm down, brother, it's fine. And then, like, that's always, and then, like, the guys will try and escalate and fight him, and, like, you don't fight him. He is an unstoppable force of destruction if you get into a fight with him. Hello, Stormy. How's it going? I'm talking about a professional wrestler. I'm getting very excited about it. Yeah, it's like, well, it's like the story, like, from at least old school wrestlers I've always heard is like guys would just come up to them and say, "Yeah, you're a wrestler," and like challenge them. And it's like I don't know how stupid you have. How's it going, Stormy? How are things going on this fine day for you? I don't know how stupid you would have to be to like go to these like 6 foot tall, like 200 pounds of muscle guys and go like, "Yeah, you think I could beat you up?" Well, I'm glad to hear that. Some days we can only be average. Anyways, sorry, I'll stop talking. Although I find this stuff... Yeah. A lot of Pacific Islanders in wrestling. And that's my contribution to Asian and Pacific Island Heritage Month. I also did talk about... So, there.
I could talk about Haku for another hour if I really wanted to, because I have a lot of thoughts on him. Excited for the weekend storms? Anyways, he works now for a car dealership in Florida, I believe. No, in Virginia. And it's funny because he pops up on the YouTube channel every once in a while. It's just like a guy who deals cars, and I'm like, yeah. Got anything big planned, or are you just excited to finally get some time off? Okay, can you guess maybe which? I do too. He's not. He's not as tall as some guys are. Guess which one. Sorry. It's that one. That's him. Yeah. He's actually not as tall. Like that's one of the things people talk about. Yeah, I hate the weekdays too. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see. How tall is he? Age 65. He is 6'1". He's 6'1". So got any exciting? Yeah, that's the thing. He's like people say he's like the nicest guy. You just don't want to mess with him. You just don't want. You just don't mess with him because things get weird quickly. People find that out. Well, he's also in his 60s now, and he's been a dad for he has 3 full-grown sons now, so he's calmed down just a little bit. Anyways, okay, Stormy? What's the number one thing you do? Yeah. You do first thing you're looking forward to this weekend. Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the trick. Don't confront confront him. Here's the trick. Don't be really racist to him when when he's at a bar and he's had a few drinks. So one of the funnier stories is okay, we all know so in wrestling parlance, a match is it's called a worked match when it's not real, it's called a worked match. Shoot is when it's an actual fight, and and there's been a few times where people have tried to shoot on him. And it's always funny. So this is a wrestler that in Mexico that I believe in Mexico that tried to shoot on him. And sorry. Watch. Ooh. Ooh. You can tell it. Oh. And oh. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That usually drop kicks don't connect. That's called a drop kick. Look at that. And bam, guy goes down. That is not a fake. That is a guy whose memory. By the way, he deserved it because he was trying to turn it into a real fight. That is a big no-no in wrestling. You do not do that. You do not do that. If you do that, people, you are allowed to. You as a wrestler are allowed to stop it in any way you can if your opponent decides that. No, I'm going to be an unprofessional dick and actually try and hit you. This guy is notorious for doing that. By the way, his opponent. Yeah. No, because that guy, he was a really notable sumo wrestler, but there's a whole story with him. Listen, the second you get into wrestling, if you get in wrestling, there's always there's a whole story with him. And that's always the thing. It's like, okay, so there's this whole other thing you kind of have to understand about. Yeah. So Japanese wrestling is a whole kettle of fish, and I haven't watched as much of it as American wrestling. I want to get more into it, but that guy's sort of notorious for trying to shoot fight on people. And it's like, why do? Well, that guy's notorious for trying to shoot fight on people, and he tries to keep shoot fighting on people who really you shouldn't do that with. You should never do it to begin with, but he keeps picking people who are very notoriously quite good at fighting. Because he tried to pull that crap with another guy by the name of John Tenta, and John Tenta is a legitimate I forget how big he's. Tenta is this massive dude. He's like. I love John Tenta, by the way. John Tenta. Let's see. How big was John Tenta? I'm also sad when oh, man. John Tenta was 6'7" and 468 pounds. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna try and fight that guy. Yeah. I don't think anybody's ever tried to shoot on The Undertaker. Maybe when he was younger. God, imagine if somebody tries to shoot on Triple H or Rey Mysterio. Those three guys. Anyways.
like the thing with like all three of those guys, I'm not sure how like good they are at actually fighting. Like the thing with like Haku or like Tenta is that they were actual like experienced fighters in a previous. Like I wonder how good of a fighter like Triple H actually is. You know, he's in charge now, Triple H of WWE. He's the one who. Did you just look those up? Yeah, well, like, oh boy, you'd be really stupid for trying that. Not necessarily because they're good fighters, it's because you'd never get a job again. Like, they're three of the most powerful. They're three of the most powerful dudes in all of wrestling. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's legitimately tried to shoot on H. Or like legitimately. God, oh my God, imagine how stupid you would have to be. Like Triple H is legitimately like maybe I think the most powerful guy in wrestling now. Like like he's like Triple H is now the one in charge of the WWE for all intents and purposes. He's like the head of creative. Like he doesn't own it, but he's like the head of creative. He's like a really he's like imagine like sorry I'll be quiet. I know. Feel free to sci-fi like but imagine if you tried to do that. Holy heck. Shoot fights are always something people talk about in wrestling because it's like, ooh, is that one like real? And like they're always like these weird things. Did anybody legitimately ever try? I just think it's so funny. Did anybody ever try and shoot on Triple H? No, I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would be that stupid. No, nobody was that stupid. Yeah. Like shoot fights usually don't happen in like they would never happen. Ooh boy, if you tried to shoot in WWE, you would be out in a second. You know, you got to go to like more indies or like. I mean, anyways, could go into the whole like what the most infamous wasn't really a shoot. It was a double. The most infamous thing that WWE ever pulled, but okay, I'll be quiet now. I'm talking too much about things. Talking too much about these things because they're fascinating once you get to know them. We'll bring up the event that happened in Montreal. One of the most infamous. The most infamous things that ever happened in pro wrestling. It's called the Screw Job. It involves another very famous wrestling family from Canada.
Evolves the wrestler bit. Okay. I'm sure nobody wants to hear about that. One of the most infamous nights in wrestling history. Anyways, so the funny thing with like Triple H is like Triple H is now like the president, is in charge of pretty much the entire product. It's weird to see him now. Like, part of me doesn't really associate him like the young guy like he was with like the older dude he is now, because he looks and talks so different. And we're all calling him Paul now, which is his real name, but we were calling him Hunter for a long time. I guess that's over with now. Now that he's in charge of everything. Comic books. Did you Kraken? Were you the one I suggested that you should subscribe to the apps, the Infinite and Unlimited? Darf. Did you get a chance to look at them? And or watch my videos where I break down key plot points in Marvel and DC's history? Not so much Marvel these days, for reasons, but oh man. I'm about to surpass 300 followers on Instagram, which is nice. I only started doing Instagram a couple months ago, so it's been nice that's been working out for me. Is there any deep lore that you want to know? Okay, Kraken, because you're here. What deep lore? Which villains do you want to know deep lore about? I might be able to assist you, and I might also need some video ideas. So if you want to learn some stuff, I might make them. Okay, I'll look. The Batman Who Laughs is. Yeah, Batman Who Laughs is. Batman Who Laughs. Scarecrow. I'm bored of. Batman Who Laughs, I'm a little bit. Anyways. It's kind of a Roman word. I can tell you who the Batman Who Laughs is. It's an alternate version of Bruce Wayne that got Joker-fied. That's the basic premise. It's much more complicated than it should be. You know, I think we're gonna call it here. I'm gonna yeah, pretty much. It's a little bit. There's yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's pretty much it. And he's come back. He's come to our universe to mess with our Batman. And also, the game Fortnite is involved. Which is its own thing. You think I'm joking, but no, Fortnite, the game Fortnite does play a role in it because, anyways. It's relevant! It's relevant! Okay. It's surprisingly quite relevant. There's a whole plot line involving it. Because Batman... Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's very... Yeah, he's relative. He comes from, like, Scott Snyder. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on Scott Snyder. I prefer Tom King's run to Scott Snyder's run, but that's somewhat of a controversial opinion. But I feel like Tom King cares. Anyways, no, he's relatively recent. When did he first pop up? Batman Who Laughs. He 2017. Who? Oh, I was like, yeah, go ahead, look him up. Okay, man, I'm pretty tired. No. I'm pretty tired. I think I'm gonna call it here. So, it's good talking. I had fun. No, it's fine. I'm happy. Believe me, I'm very happy to talk obscure. I have trouble following the. I have trouble following the this whole. I don't know. I'm not really digging Scott Snyder's thing with Batman. I don't know. I haven't given it that good of a chance, that much of a chance yet. I don't know. My problem, my problem is I feel like what comics does is it gets.
I was just praising wrestling for this. I know, but comics I think does this kind of bad where it tells it tells a story way too drawn out and too complex, and it's never that great of a story to begin with. I don't know. So like the thing with Snyder is very into his own like mythology and lore that he builds up, and not really like Snyder has his Batman universe and his Batman universe. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I haven't really given it as much chance. I don't know. It's just I'm tired. Like okay, like I'm tired of it. Like the new idea in Batman always just being Joker. You know, what if we just did Joker again? And I'm like, we did Joker. It's anyways. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.